For Real Talkers. I'm Bobbi.
And I'm Jen.
And today we have our special guest, which is one of our dear friends, Kim.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
Us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that she's here, guys, because we're going to pick Kim's brains, or Kimberly. Which one should I call you, Kimberly or Kim?
But today, Kimberly is fine. Kimberly, yes.
Kimberly's in the hot seat. Get it?
Yes. You know, we all sometimes go through things in our relationships, you know, and we try to differentiate what is the difference between being in a relationship as a girlfriend and then also a partnership as a partner. And I think that there could be some differences.
Yep.
You know, because sometimes a guy treats you different. It depends on how he's looking at you. Is he seeing you as his girlfriend or as his partner, like a lifetime partner, you know? But I want to jump right into some deal breakers, okay? So before I tell you mine, I'm going to put the spotlight on Kimberly.
What's your deal breakers, lady?
My deal breaker. Oh, gosh. Okay. It depends on how long you've been in the relationship. The deal breaker is when you haven't reached your goal and you have to come to some point where you decide this is it. But you know, no one else can decide, even for myself, no one else can decide when it's really it. But when you are not satisfied, when you start to feel a little angry with yourself, and you realize that it's not going in the direction that you planned on initially going. It has to be. You have to draw the line at one point.
Okay. Now, are our microphones on? I'm sorry, guys, because one thing about For Real Talkers, we just hit play and we just let it roll. We don't do any editing. Okay.
This is not reality. This is reality. It's not even reality TV. This is just regular conversation.
Yes.
That we're having. And if we sound crazy or our mics are off or whatever, I mean, this is just us being real.
Yes.
So I don't listen. As far as deal breakers, a deal breaker, I've let a lot of things go in these past couple of years. So every time I had a deal breaker, I let that person take me a little bit farther. And I'll be like, now this is going to be the deal breaker.
Okay.
Then 2 more years later, then I'll be like, now this is going to be the deal breaker. So it's so hard. I mean, it depends on you. You know, normal deal breakers for me is, being married or stepping outside the relationship. And I don't care if we're not married or not. Stepping outside the relationship, meaning start to talk to another woman over the phone.
Yes.
Going out and dating another woman, because you don't have to have the physical act. Like I always say, it doesn't mean, just because you didn't do the physical act doesn't mean you didn't cheat. Once you start giving your valuable time to someone else, and start calling everybody bae. I think bae shouldn't even be, I mean, bae, if you start calling somebody else bae, hey babe.
Oh, Lord.
At that point, don't ever,
It hurts.
use those lips to call me babe again if I hear you call another one babe.
Okay. Unless you mean Black American that's educated.
But deal breakers, cheating. And then sometimes it gets to a point where you've been going through the ringer and doing the same thing over and over on repeat, wash and repeat the same thing. And then that person will do a little something to make you happy for that moment. And then he'll go back to the same type of behavior. And after a while, it just becomes redundant and toxic, and you're over it. You know what I mean? Other deal breakers for me, and I'm going to stop talking. If you are cheap, and I don't care, you can say whatever you want about me. If you are cheap, do not, because I'm not cheap. I don't come cheap.
Men forget how to
court.
You don't court.
Yeah, I like flowers. Take me to the park. Like Jill Scott said, a long walk around the park. Let's go to the museum. I mean, I'm not saying you got to spend a whole bunch of money, but you know,
thoughtfulness.
Don't think that you're gonna date me inside my house. I'm going outside. Like, do I look like I should be inside?
Okay.
Anyway, I'm getting angry, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But don't come at me if you cheat. Nah, just tell your story walking. That's how
you got something to add to that, Kim?
Well, as far as the cheatness, I haven't really run across that yet. But when you say the deal breakers,
I didn't either. But I'm just telling them, don't come here.
I think I have. when you say you go back a year and go back a year or two, don't blame your partner.
Yeah.
We have to take accountability for
ourselves.
what we allow.
Exactly.
Don't blame yourself, forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You know, just draw the line, and even if you know, back, like I said,
spin block.
You know, go backslide a little again, backslide again, spin the block. Just hold yourself accountable. Learn to forgive yourself.
Yeah. I mean, because I know it's hard though, because you love that person, so you don't want to.
But that's the deal breaker when you decide to fall in love with yourself.
Okay.
Don't be angry. Let it go, but just fall more in love with yourself.
Right.
That's the deal breaker.
I like that. Well, I want to make you guys laugh because one of my girlfriends told me recently, so she's been dating this guy for like about a year, and he used her vehicle to take her to the hospital, and she ran out of gas, not knowing that she didn't have enough gas in the vehicle, and he dropped her off and came back to pick her up, and the gas light was on in the vehicle, guys. And so he wanted her to put the money, to spend her money to put gas in the vehicle because it was her vehicle, which she just coming from the hospital, so she didn't have any money on her. So he put gas in her car, and I believe
that was nice.
Right. And I think the dollar amount was like around $43. And after he put the gas in the car, she said, "Oh, thank you for putting the gas in my car." He said, "Oh no, you have to give me that money back."
I know you lying.
He wanted the $43 back.
No, he didn't.
Wait, you said they were dating for a year.
For almost a year, they were
like
dating.
Intimate,
they were
dating.
intimately dating. No, dating in a relationship.
You know what? I just want to roll that back. So I was with you up until you said, because I was like, oh, that's nice to put gas in my car because, you know, that's a given.
Right.
But when you said he asked for the money back for the gas that he put in her car?
Yes, he wanted her to pay back the $43. Now, my friend was really taken back because she said she spent a lot of money in the relationship too. She's treated him nicely. She's taken him out. She's bought gifts. You know, and et cetera, et cetera. And not saying, I think, you know, I'm pretty sure he probably took her out and vice versa. But the point is, guys, let's help my girlfriend out.
That's hurtful.
It's hurtful.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
hurtful.
that's hurtful.
Okay.
That's not a partnership.
I want to know, like, that part, like, where do you draw the line? Is that being cheap? Or is that being like, because if I'm in a relationship with a guy and he's driving my car, whether it's his car or my car, whatever, if I don't have it, it doesn't have to necessarily be financial. In a relationship, my partner is going to pick up where I fall off.
Okay.
And without any expectations of getting it back.
Right. Now, it's $43.
Now that man,
not $400.
That man,
especially at a time when she was going to the hospital.
A hospital!
That means you don't. Then what happens is you're going to either, if you stay together, you're going to build that resentment.
Absolutely.
And no man wants a resentful woman or vice versa. Because now you're in there, you're angry, your mood change. And then all of a sudden you become the bitch.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, now listen, I want to play devil's advocate because we know, you know, I have 6 brothers and I try not to do things to men that I don't want to see women do to my brothers, right? So in playing devil's advocate, let's keep it real. Some women might take advantage of a man's kindness or have certain expectations, right? Would you think it could be possible that maybe she has this mentality that she's just entitlement? An entitlement mentality, meaning like he's just supposed to do it.
No!
She could.
Entitled for $43 and you asked it back. Say she's entitled if she asked for freaking $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 and said, give me $4,000. And then expect him to do
$43.
it. But $43? No, she wasn't entitled, and he
kicked her while she was down.
He violated.
Coming from the hospital.
Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you guys the real what I say. Okay, I told my girlfriend because I'm very close to the story, right? And I know them both up close and personal. She's done a whole lot for this guy. She spent a lot of months during, you know, within that year's time of them being together. Not saying that he didn't spend money on her, but the dollar amount probably was pretty close to what they both spent. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like I told her, it shouldn't matter what you spent or he spent, because in a relationship, you're going to spend money ongoing. Right?
Partnership.
Right.
Yes.
So maybe he wasn't looking at you as his girlfriend. Maybe he was just looking at you as a chick. Mm-hmm. But if you was his girlfriend partner, like, what man in his right mind is going to ask you to give him back $43 when it was innocently done that you just didn't have enough gas in your vehicle?
Well, we need to stop being girlfriends. We're girlfriends. We need to stop with this girlfriend stuff.
Exactly.
We need to start partnerships, commitment, dedication.
Girlfriends, not girlfriends, my woman and my man, or my husband and my wife.
Or your fiance.
Yes. And to be quite honest, even if it was just a guy that I was dating, if he asked me for the $43 back, we would. There would be another. After that date, there would be no more phone calls.
Okay.
Like, even if we were just dating, like, it's just, it was tacky.
I mean, unless he explained himself, he was going through something
right now.
Or he said, "Hey, this is such and such. I don't have it." But just to tell you that you owe him that money, I think that
I definitely would be like, "Okay, I got you. As soon as we get back, I'm gonna give you money back." Especially if you explain, "Listen, I don't have it right now. I'm going through a little something. So, if you can give it back to me, whatever, then that's no problem." But if you're just saying like, "Oh, I want my $43 back," and it's such a nondescript number, 43. It just makes me laugh when you just said it. Like, so I'm not.
My love back.
Yeah, so I don't feel like that's a sense of entitlement. But in reality, if he would look at it as a sense of entitlement, then he is not keeping up with the current times.
No.
Okay, he's not keeping up with the current times. Just the mere fact that your woman was spending money on you. She was willing to do things and spend her own money.
Yeah.
And now in her time of need, you can't put $43 worth of gas in her vehicle?
I guess that's one of your deal breakers.
That's the deal breaker. Right.
Deal breaker. Yes.
But Bobbi, he's not keeping up with the current times. He's keeping up with the past times. He's not even keeping up with the 70s, because I already know about men from the 70s and 80s, because I came from that type of background. So I don't know where he came from, but I do know $43 is not. That was a deal breaker for sure.
Yes.
I agree.
So that's kind of a cheap move. But you know what? I also see it as being disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
If you, in this relationship with the guy, you're giving him everything that you have. Because I just used her money.
Yeah.
They were having a sexual relationship. $43, get out of here. I know my girlfriend. I would put $43 in her car and not even want that back.
Exactly. For girlfriend.
My girlfriend.
Help each other
do that for each other.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Like, not a big deal.
To be there for each other.
Exactly. The person's not going anywhere tomorrow, so you're going to see them again.
And like Kim said, it's like he kicked her when she was down. She just came from the hospital.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, like that. You couldn't even wait until like the next day.
No.
Next day, no day.
Like, wait a
That's
minute.
a deal breaker.
I'm fresh out of anesthesia, and you asking me.
First of all, who's going to show up? Your man's going to show up to pick you up from the hospital after you had surgery with the gas light. Your car's empty. There's no gas in the vehicle, and tell you need to put gas in the car. What guy is going to do that?
First of all, he's going to go put gas in your car because he's going to see, like, let me go put gas in this her car before I even get to her.
Right.
And I have to say, even the like I said, the little no good, whatever. He still thought to say, let me put gas in her car, or let me go get her oil change, or let me do this because I know she's not going to, be ready to go get gas after. I just want her to just get in the car and let me take her home and sleep off the rest of this anesthesia.
Right. He kicked you while you were down. But it comes to a point where you have to reevaluate the whole situation.
Yeah.
Because then if you stay, or if your girlfriend has stayed, or you stayed, then you become resentful.
Yeah.
And then you're in an angry relationship, which you don't want.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's when you have to reevaluate yourself and say, listen, I love him, or he's a good guy, but I can't deal with that.
Right.
Unless you have a conversation and come to some type of agreement. And especially if he's in denial and doesn't recognize it.
Right.
You know, okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
So maybe she needs to do a good job at explaining it to him. I don't know. But I think once you get past a certain age, some things you really should know. It's just unfortunate sometimes people don't know.
Is she still with him? Because it's like, if you let that go, then it'll be something else bigger next time. The next thing you know, like, I don't know, like, can you get over that hump? Like, did she get over the hump? Is what, I guess what I'm asking, or is it something that was a deal breaker as we discussed? Right.
What happened? And then what happened? Those humps.
Because I feel like
a roller coaster.
A
roller coaster relationship.
If she stayed, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
love is blind.
if she stayed, regardless, and let him get his little $43 back, did she have resentment? Did she harbor anything in her heart? Or was she able to get over it?
Well, guys, y'all going to have to tune in because I'm going to come back with part 2 next week because I need to get some more information. But I'll tell you one thing, what if that wasn't the first time? Because usually when something like that happened, there's been other incidences that led up to him being bold enough to say, oh, no, you got to give me that back.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, true to your girlfriend.
Okay.
She is to her.
Oh, my girl. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you one of my deal breakers. My man can't be cheap to me. He could be cheap to himself,
right?
But he can't be cheap to me because I'm too giving. I have a big heart, and I'm not used to having a cheap person, right? It's not good enough, and I'm not going to get used to it.
Right.
So,
amen.
I'm not going to accept it. That's a deal breaker for me.
Cheers to that too.
Cheers
to that too. Put some water in there.
Maybe I need to get some water instead of this wine.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. Being cheap, especially when I'm not cheap.
Right.
And I like to spoil my man.
Yes.
If I have it, like you have it. And it's not in financial ways.
Just period.
Massage candles. Run your bath water.
Yes.
Cook for you.
Yes.
Make sure you got your favorite slippers out.
And even if he doesn't cook, I don't mind cooking.
I'm talking about me.
Be the hunter and bring the food home.
I don't care.
Show up at your door to come over.
Yeah. What we gonna eat? Like, this is the thing. I don't care about, because I don't mind cooking for him, because I've done it. I come,
like, seasoning
I'm going to have.
Your gas, your electricity, the oil, the butter.
The butter!
Are you kidding me?
Listen, but I get it. Like, look, in sidebar, olive oil is expensive. But,
yes, it is.
But I don't mind doing all those things. So I'm not cheap in my love. I'm not cheap in how I display, being submissive. I'm not cheap in any of those categories.
Oh, I like
so. If you come at me and you're cheap, no, that's a deal breaker. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't.
And then you can show the man your appreciation.
Absolutely.
You want to go and put on a nice gown and put your lip gloss on and tidy yourself up.
And don't forget that when you're putting on lipstick and your fancy nightgowns and lingerie, that costs money too.
Yes.
That costs money. That's not.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Victoria's Secret knock on the door. I didn't hear. Was anybody inside? Was anybody like this free gift?
Exactly. But you know what else is a deal breaker for me? For me, it's a deal breaker if you're selfish.
Yeah.
Because cheapness and selfishness, sometimes it kind of go hand in hand, right? Because selfish people, it's easy to be cheap because you're only thinking about yourself. What if the person is just only interested in spending their money on themselves, right?
Yeah.
So selfishness is a deal breaker for me also.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to say that.
Absolutely. I agree on that. You selfish.
I think the best way to have a successful relationship is if both parties are selfless. The more selfless you both could be, I think the greater the relationship could have success.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
No, you're right.
It's my opinion.
You're absolutely right. I think that was you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to hear about your friend next week. Please, let's do this again next week because I missed this. We haven't done this in a while, y'all. But I can't wait to
give
hear
a bag $23 in pennies and dimes.
Well, she told me that she did give him the money back, you know, as soon as he asked for it. You know, she gets in the car and he puts the gas and he told her to pay her back. And she said she sent it to him right away.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but she did give it back to him right away.
But we'll find out next week if she's still with him.
Yeah.
And I would be petty like that. Be like, all right, I'm going to go get $43 in pennies.
That's being resentful. And then they're robbing you of your energy, robbing you of your positive energy, and it turns you into this angry black woman, which we don't want to be.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
But you should have given him $50 back.
It is kind of funny. I would have given him $50.
Give him a tip.
Just be like, go ahead. Go buy yourself some lunch.
Yeah, give him a tip.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, we're going to find out what happened next week.
We can find out.
Yay.
But listen, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Have you experienced a cheap man?
Please tell us.
Have you? Because for me personally, I would have put gas in my man's tank. And I would not have wanted the money back. Period.
No.
Point blank, period. Because I'm looking at you as, you know, you're my man. You're my partner. I got your back.
I've gone as far as helping my man get his car fixed. So
look at that. Woo! Kudos!
That's my
when I had it. So, and I didn't expect it back, but I know we gave one another in different ways.
Right.
We helped one another.
Right.
He helped me, I helped him.
Right.
So again, listen, I'm not sitting there waiting with my hands out and being entitled, because I know it's a two-way street or whatever. But I know about chivalry, and I know about old-fashioned, like what a man is supposed to do. So you're not going to come and change my mind. I'm sorry, because some of these men today, they think that they the prize.
Ooh, well, Kimberly just made a good point. She's asking, like, does chivalry still exist?
Y'all need to tell us. I don't know.
Grandpa still exists.
I don't know.
It still exists.
Y'all tell me. I know it exists, but I mean,
I believe it exists because I would say I've only had issues with one boyfriend with being cheap, but all of the other men that's been in my life, that's been my boyfriend, they've been very giving, very thoughtful, very loving. They have spoiled me, but I've also spoiled them in return.
Absolutely.
So so thank you guys, and I hope you have somebody special in your life. But I think, But we need to just be honest with one another instead of hiding behind how you really feel. If you're cheap, and it's okay because there's somebody out there for you that's probably just as cheap. But just be upfront about it.
Selfish.
Yes. So I'm done. I don't have much more to say about this topic.
We said enough.
You have any final words from our special guest, our girl Kimberly?
Kimberly. It was so good. It was so good to have you on.
Thank you.
You gotta come back again and do it.
Yeah.
This was fun. Yay. You gotta come back and do it.
Thanks for having me.
You want to say?
No, just final thing is like recognizing it and self-care.
Yep.
Oh, I like
Take the blame on yourself and forgive yourself and move forward.
Yeah.
That's what's working for me.
I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Self-care,
self-love,
and move
let
forward.
go of the resentment, because if you carry anger on, if you carry resentment on,
It's heavy.
It's just going to weigh you down. And you become this angry black woman, which we don't want to be.
No, we don't want to waste time.
Let go.
Energy.
Let God.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Let go and let God. Yes. You have any final words, Jen?
No, I do not.
Okay.
This has been fun, though.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Yes, and this is For Real Talkers, where real people
say real things.
Bye.